Okay, we're going to start with going to www.ChooseMyPlate.gov. And when you get on, it should look like this. If you're on a mobile device, there may be 3 bars right up here. You're going to click on that to find some of these options right here. And before we get any further, I just want you to notice all the different things that show up on here as resources. And it can be by age, so the audience, it can just be online tools, and there's different articles, tips of the day, and things like that, and related resources, which remember you have to find one additional resource out on your own. You can't use this one because that, well, you can, but that one you already need. So I just wanted to go over that with you so you could see that there are a lot of options with ChooseMyPlate. There's a bunch of ways to get to Supertracker, but the easiest is just going under Online Tools and finding it and clicking on that. When you click on Supertracker, you're going to see here there's a login or create a profile. You need to create a profile first. To create your profile, it's going to ask some personal information. I would suggest you put in as accurate of information here as possible because that will make your recommendations the most realistic for what you need for your gender, height, and weight. And then you're going to need the standard username, password, hint, security questions, email, and all that. So make sure to hit submit and get that set up and write it down so you don't forget it. After you've already created a profile and you have a username and password, all you need to do is click login. And so you're just going to put your username in and then head down here and put in your password. Now when you see this, you know you're in Supertracker. It says Supertracker at the top and my Coach Center right here. Now you may not use anything on Supertracker as a tool as one of your nutritional resources. So on the first page of ChooseMyPlate, that was fine, but not on this page. So we're really going to focus on using the food tracker. So there's this way to get to it, and you can also go under track food and activity and click it here. Okay, so now we're in food tracker. First thing to look at is make sure the date is correct. If you're putting in those 2 multiple days, find the correct date and put them in, make sure it matches up. And then over here, you can see the daily food group targets. So this is the amount I should be eating, 6 ounces, and that's how much I have eaten at this point. And you can see that I am under, so it does give you a status. Now, we are missing oils on here, so that's going to be important because we need to report on that, but I'm going to show you where you can find that in a minute or two. Here you'll see a graph. So just by quick looking, I can see I have already put in my breakfast and lunch, and I have no vegetables and no dairy just by looking at the graph. You can also click on data, and now you can see kind of a breakdown just of what you have taken in so far. So I'm going to keep it back at graph. I kind of like it. And so let's see what I put in already today when I was trying to screencast this earlier. I put in oatmeal, walnuts, and my orange juice in the morning. I put in my peanut butter sandwich. Now I did have it on whole wheat bread, but I couldn't find that. So again, here is where ChooseMyPlate's Supertracker is lacking. It did have marshmallow, but I couldn't find peanut butter and marshmallow on wheat, so I had to add that separate. And my apples. So now I'm going to put in some of my dinner foods. So I am having spaghetti. So I'm going to type in spaghetti, and it's going to be with tomato sauce and whole wheat noodles. So I'm going to put that in. And I usually eat a big old bowl of this. This is what I'm making tonight. And you want to make sure to click the meal. So I'm having it for dinner, and I'm going to add that. Now it did have, I'm putting meat in my spaghetti because I like that. So ground meat, well, if you type meat and hit go, it's going to come up no results, and that does happen a lot. So you have to kind of double check ground, let's try ground beef. And 95%, yeah, it's very lean. And if I look over here, you can also see it lets you choose the amount of servings. It really breaks it down a lot. And you can change the type of serving if there's options. This one gives a lot of options. So in my bowl of spaghetti, generally I have about the equivalent to like a large meatball. So add that to my dinner. And now I need to put in my drink, which my husband brews iced tea, and he puts stevia in it, which I can never find in here. So I'm just going to put on artificial sweetener, and I'm going to add that. If you notice right here, it says I did not pick a meal for that. So I'm going to hit OK. That may happen to you. And I'm going to put that in my dinner and add that. Now, salads get really tricky, having a salad with this. So just type in salad and you can kind of check through here. And I like balsamic vinaigrette dressing. I have not yet found that in Supertracker. So I'm going to have to add my own, which is I usually do a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar and a teaspoon of olive oil, or a tablespoon, sorry, of each of those. So one thing to note here is I can look down here under food info and it tells me how many calories I'm getting from added sugars, saturated fats, and then I can also click on the nutrient info down. This is just for that particular food item. Oops. And I can see the added sugar in grams. I can see the fiber, the carbs, protein. So if you want to know what you're going to put in your body per food, that is an interesting feature. I do have some ranch dressing at home too. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put that in because I do like my low-fat ranch. Put that in right here. And yeah, about a tablespoon on my salad. And I'm going to add that. And sitting at home is my pumpkin pie. So pumpkin pie. And I usually eat that for a snack. And I'm going to add that. And I can see, oh, look at the added sugars. Here, if I hit nutrient info, I can see 12 grams of added sugar for that. I'm going to hit add. Okay, now that is about almost 2,000 calories if I got everything. Again, some of this stuff's guesstimates because I didn't get everything in exactly. I didn't have the name brands like I do with my FitnessPal. I can see I have 43 grams of added sugars. My limit was 50. This information you may not be able to see with my FitnessPal. They may just give you a sugar total and not the added sugar, which is important. And as always, I am way over on my sodium. So you can see right here, my limit was 2,300, and you can see how much I have eaten. And I'm going to remember that because that may be something later that I can look at and see, well, what am I eating that has so much sodium? Because when I look at this, I don't really see anything majorly salty, but you might be surprised. So still very low on the dairy. Now, it's time to do the report for this and do the analysis. So what do I do? Well, one thing we can do here is click more info. So more info about our food groups. If you click on this, and I think this is so cool, look and you can see tips that it gives you for each of these food groups. So it tells you ways to add these into your diet. So for me, for dairy, I should probably add yogurt, and maybe I could put some cheese on my salad, maybe choose milk as a beverage during lunch, whatever, and I can see here my target and how much I should be getting. So that is an interesting feature. So another feature, and this is the one I really want you to use, is the reports. So if you go to My Reports and click Food Groups and Calories, and you'll pick the day that you want to look at. So I put in today, and then you click Create Report. Okay, so here is the food groups. This is what I want printed out. So you can click PDF or Word, probably PDF's easier, and print this out for the days that you put in. And You can see here the target for grains was 6 ounces and I ate 8.5, so I'm over on that. My vegetables was 2.5 cups. I have 2 cups. I'm under. And so it just goes through fruits, dairy, proteins, and then oils. 6 teaspoons. I had 9, so I'm over on that. And again, on that first page, it does not keep you posted on the oils. So you will need this information so that you can figure that out. This is what you need to do your reporting for the analysis when you look at food groups, and this is also what you need when you are comparing the recommendations and letting me know if you're over or under. So pretty much everything's in a graph for you and ready to go. Another interesting report is the nutrients report, and again you'll put in the date. And this gives you the nutrients information for that day, and it is extremely extensive. Now, I do not need this printed out, but it is very, very extensive. And if you're going to talk about one of the issues, you may want to print it out just as backup. But remember, some of these you're already getting in MyFitnessPal, like the protein and the carbs and fiber. And MyFitnessPal will be more accurate because it's the actual foods. So you probably only want to use this to look at things that are not on MyFitnessPal. So kind of check through this. If anything really stands out to you, that might be something that you can address. Again, added sugars. You should have less than 50 grams. I'm at 42. I'm okay. So I wouldn't need to report on that. But if I was over with my added sugars, and some of you may be, MyFitnessPal may not address that. All right, one last really cool report you can do. I talked about how I had really high sodium, so I'm going to click my sodium here and create a report on that. Now this is just going to tell me where all my sodium came from. So I clicked create report just for sodium, just for the 20th, and now I can see a breakdown of all my foods that have sodium, and there's my spaghetti sauce with 1,200 milligrams of sodium. So that would let me know that perhaps I can find low sodium spaghetti sauce instead, or look at noodles and just try to figure out where in this is the sodium really high. Another one is the peanut butter sandwich, probably the bread, maybe even the peanut butter has a lot of salt. In fact, it does have a lot of salt, so that could be something else, is buying peanut butter with low sodium or bread that has low sodium. Whenever you want to get back to your food tracker, just go back to track food and activity and you're right back where you were. And obviously for me, dairy would be an issue, sodium would be an issue. So easily by using this, I can identify some areas that I need to work on. All right, good luck. See me with any questions.